Ayan, so I think everybody's already settled. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to our webinar tonight. We're gonna talk about trend indicators, and mainly we're gonna talk about moving averages and ADX. And if there are, a couple of indicators regarding the trend that you have in mind, maybe we can also talk about them at the end of the session. Okay. So at any point in time, kung may tanong kayo, just go ahead. No, I'll try to answer your questions as best as I can. And all right, let's start now. By the way, this webinar will be relatively shorter than the previous ones that we had, no? Kasi ano naman to, very simple and straightforward lang naman yung mga indicators natin ngayon. So, all right. So, let me just open my charts a little bit over here. Let me just get the whole screen here. All right, so there you go. Okay, so let me just clear everything up. Okay, so our first topic is moving average, So, bakit ba natin kailangan sundin yung trend, no? Why do we need to know the trend, no? What is it really for? Kindly remember, no, the saying that the trend is your friend, no? As much as possible, we try to trade with the trend, no, not against the trend, because more often than not, susundan niya yung pathway ng trend. No? So if the market is in an uptrend, we try to look for opportunities to buy. If the market is in a downtrend, then we look for opportunities to sell. If the market is not trending, then it's kind of hard to trade the market. No? Kasi most likely you'll only be trading the the highs and lows. No? It's kind of hard to look for specific areas where you want to buy or sell. So uh, as much as possible, let's try to stick with the trend. And there's, a lot of ways to trade with the trend, no? Actually, to identify the trend. There's a ton of ways to do it. Dun sa price action natin, no? Dun sa mga basic courses natin, we've learned that, to identify the trend manually, you need to see your highs and lows, no? For an uptrend, higher lows followed by higher highs. For a downtrend, lower highs followed by lower lows, no? Now, aside from that, there are multiple ways to identify the trend. And one of the easiest ways to identify them is to take a look at your moving averages. No? So, ano yung moving averages? Moving averages, these are basically lines on your charts that can uh, generally average, no, yung the past certain number of uh, candlesticks. Okay? So, let me Okay, so you can find it here, no? Insert indicators, and under trend, no, nandyan po yung moving averages. Okay, so it's over here, moving averages. And whenever you open that, it asks you for a couple of questions there, no? So tatanong sa'yo, ano yung period, no? Ano yung method, apply to what, no? So ano yung mga yan? Well, initially, yung period is how many you are averaging. Kasi yung moving average, it averages the past X number of candles, no? So yung period na yan, that is X. So ibig sabihin, if you're averaging 50, that means you're averaging the past 50 candles. So if you're looking at an H4 chart of Euro USD, you're averaging the past 50 candles worth 4 hours each. Next, ang itatanong sa'yo, anong klaseng method ang gusto mong gamitin na pag-average niya? Kasi there are several methods to it, no? Merong simple, which is plainly ina-average niya lang. Okay? So, kumbaga, equal lahat, no? If it's averaging the past 50, it's just literally averaging the past 50. Now, there are some other types of moving averages. For example, yung gamit is exponential moving averages. It puts a little bit more importance on the recent ones, no? So, yan yung exponential. Now, what I suggest for everyone is you go with exponential. It becomes the moving average becomes a little bit smoother, no? Mas madalas na yun ang ginagamit. So maybe you can stick to exponential. Is there a big difference between simple and exponential? Not really, no? Wala masyado, no? If you look at them on the chart, sometimes they look different from each other, but generally they kind of analyze the market the same way. Okay, so let's stick to exponential muna, no? And then apply to what, no? Basically, tinatanong nito, ano yung ina-average niya? The closing price, the high, the low, the opening price, etc., etc. Most of the time, it's just the closing price, so let's stick to that as well. And then from there, you can change, a couple of things about your line. For example, I want the color of this 50 moving average to be red. and then you can change the thickness of the line, no? And then after that, you click OK. All right. Ayan. So you have a moving average for now. No? So ano sinasabi ng moving average yan? Basically, that red line over here is the moving average of the past 50 candlesticks. No? So if we go to the daily chart, this is the past 50 days. Okay. Now, the simplest way to interpret your moving average is whenever the market is above, no, your whenever the market is above your price, no, or rather the above the moving average, that means the market is currently in an uptrend. No? If it's trading below that moving average, that means it's currently in a downtrend. No? So that's the simplest way to do it. So for example, if we backtrack a little bit, no, over here, every time the market is trading below that, no, at this point in time, nandito sa may baba, this over here tells you that the market is currently in a downtrend. Okay. Now, if the market shifts to the top side, that tells you the market is currently in an uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, no, uptrend, downtrend. No? So every time it crosses, it tells you that there is a reversal in the market. No? So that's the simplest way to identify the trend. No? In addition to that, you can also use your moving averages as a little bit of a support and a resistance. No? So ibig sabihin, kapag kapag bumabalik yung price doon sa may moving average natin, the price can actually bounce off of that. All right? So, dyan tayo pwede later on maghanap ng opportunities to buy or sell. No? By the way, just a little bit of a minute here. Lahat ba naririnig yung audio? Can everybody hear the audio? Is the audio clear? All right, that's good. No, may nagtatanong kasi. All right, so that's good. That's good. Maybe it's just the settings. Anyway, moving on. Thank you for confirming. All right, so moving forward, no, yan ang ating moving average. Now, to be honest, no, pag iisipin mo siya, no, wow, okay yun ah, gandang indicator naman yan, no? If the price is above, uptrend. If the price is below, downtrend, no? Tapos pwede mo siyang gamiting support or resistance. But the problem with having one moving average, no, is that you're prone to a lot of um false movements in the market. Bakit? Kasi po, aakyat yung price above that, bababa yung price below that, no? And then you won't actually get a good trend when the market is naturally ranging, no? So wala ka talagang makukuha trend. So ang dami mong mga false trades na makukuha dyan, no? Pagdating dito, I'll just kind of plot it out for everyone, no? Ayan, kung titignan nyo dito sa moment na to, this is an uptrend, the market goes up a little bit, no? Babagsak, sabi sa'yo, downtrend, pero akyat ulit, ito fake movement, baba ulit, akyat, no? Ito gives you a little bit of a good movement out to the upside, eventually breaks to the downside, okay? So makikita nyo, medyo inconsistent po yung natin, no? Yung movement. Minsan, pag nagtitrend siya talaga, okay, no? It looks very nice, no? But to be honest, it's kind of hard to catch very good trades dyan sa ating single moving average na yan. No? So, what do most traders do whenever they encounter this type of difficulty? No? Ang ginagawa po madalas is that there are multiple moving averages that you can use, no, to filter these out. And one of the most used moving averages could be 50 and then 200. So magdadagdag tayo ngayon ng isa pang moving average. So you go to indicators and then you add another moving average with different settings. So dito po, you have your period 50, you make it 200 now, and then let's plot a different color to it. Let's make it blue, right? Given the same setup, no, you have your exponential and then apply to close. Ayan. So ngayon, meron ka na ngayon dalawang moving average. Now, these two moving averages now give you a broader perspective sa market. Ang ginagawa niya po is that whenever they cross each other, it gives you a signal to buy or sell. No? So, nag-shift ng trend every time they cross each other. For example, if you notice, if we just used our 50 moving average, ang dami nating sablay na trade na nangyari dito, to be honest, no? But since April of, actually, since around May, no? Nung time na nag-cross yung moving average, no? May 2018, your Euro USD actually has been in pretty much a downtrend, no? For the past few years. At hanggang ngayon, pababa pa rin siya since hindi pa naman nagko-cross yung dalawang moving average, no? So it's been actually going down a lot. So this kind of saved us from a lot of bad trades, no, in the middle of that. Ayan. Tapos in addition to that, kung mapapansin mo, ginagamit din yung parehong 50 moving average at saka 200 moving average as your support or resistance. Kung makikita nyo po dito, medyo ginamit dito as your resistance, no? So that could have been some point of entry for you if you are following the trend downwards. Or better yet, wait lang, why is someone else doodling on the charts? Ayan. So, ayan, ito po, no? You have your moving average 200 over here, no? That would have been a pretty good trade for you guys. And then dito din, no? See? It kind of touched it a couple of times, no? Ito, medyo binigyan ka ng konting fake out. But the market went down after that one. Same here. Market went down after that one. Ito, medyo we had, pretty big spikes in the market recently. So, to be honest, the market isn't kind of easy to trade right now. Medyo mahirap siya, no? Due to the COVID season. Anyway, so as you can see over here, no, it initiated the good uptrend, no, starting 2017 May and kind of ran up to a whole year, no, bago siya nag-reverse ulit, no? So based on this, may isip nyo na parang, wow, no, maybe that's the solution to my trading, no? Two moving averages can actually make a big difference, no? But it looks pretty okay when the market is trending for a very long time, no? Talagang kikita at kikita ka dyan. But it also has some water loose, no? May mga problema din dyan. Ano yung mga problema dyan? To be honest, whenever your signals are given, often they are late. Etong for the past two signals ng daily chart ng Euro USD, medyo maganda. Pero kung titingnan mo, medyo late yung pasok natin. Bakit? Kasi kung dito po, the time that they crossed here, sometime around May 2017, the price level was around, so ito, nag-cross na sila, pero kung titingnan mo yung price, nandito na sa taas, no? So, madalas naiiwanan ka ng moving average. Okay? So, they crossed here, and you actually started the trade somewhere there. So, sabihin natin, dyan ka nag-buy. And true enough, no, the market went up. However, it will only tell you to close your trade kapag nag-cross na sila ulit kasi that is the start of your downtrend, no? So you have here the fast moving average whenever it crosses above your slow moving average, the fast being mas konti yung ina-average niya, so that's the 50 line, and then yung slow moving average, that's a 200 line, no? Whenever they cross each other, it's a signal to buy or sell, no? So pag nag-cross above si short term, no, or si fast moving average, that's a signal to buy, and whenever your fast moving average crosses below, that's a signal to sell. So dito, at this point in time, this is our signal to buy. Umakyat na yung price, kung mapapansin nyo, medyo malayo inabot niya, but when the time came na nag-cross ulit yung dalawang moving average, medyo malayo na rin ulit yung binagsak niya. So kumbaga, ang laki sana ng profit natin, but it already went down. So it kind of crossed somewhere here. Alright? Kita nyo dyan. And with that, it was still a pretty good trade, no? Kasi medyo maganda naman yung binigay ng Euro USD, no? That's what, 800 pips. Now, when they crossed each other again, no, that's your signal to sell. Medyo malayo naman yung binagsak niya, no? And hanggang ngayon, ongoing pa rin yung trade natin if ever, no? So these may look like a very good example, but more often than not, the market does not give you that, no? To be honest. So let's go down to an H4 chart so that you can actually see what I'm talking about. All right. So over here, makikita nyo po, this was around sometime January, no, start of the year. It gave us a sell signal dito. No? Sabi niya sell. So, if we put a line there, we sold somewhere there kasi yung candlesticks nasa may baba na nung time na nag-cross sila. No? After that, the market did go down. No? So, medyo sulit nga naman yung binagsak ng market. That's what? Almost 300, it's around 300 pips no, na binagsak niya. But, nung time na nag-cross siya ulit, kung mapapansin niyo po dito banda, no? From the time it crossed again, nasaan na po yung price? The price was already, kung iti-trace mo, was already here. Nakita niyo? So we were able to sell at this price. Malaki nga yung binagsak niya, but when we were about to close it, umakyat ng konti yung price, no? Above our selling price, talo pa tayo ng 35 pips. So if you're gonna plainly use this system, no, as a means to enter and exit, it's not gonna be a very good deal for you. All right? So yan ang mga Waterloos yan. Now, these are the things that aren't usually discussed in other classes, no? Na yung mga weaknesses yan. Kung titingnan nyo dito, you have your buy signal over here kasi nag-cross sila pataas. The next time they cross each other, dito ka na ngayon mag-close. Ito yung cross nila ulit, oh. So you already closed it somewhere here. Then, lagyan ko na lang ng linya, ha? Para mas madali natin makita. See? This was a buy signal. To, makit nga naman yung price. But if you use this cross again as a close signal, ang laki na nung talo natin. And same thing here, no? Sabi niya, sell. Bumaba ng konti yung price, umakyat. And so far, medyo tuloy-tuloy pa naman siya pa, it basically is where it was before, no? So, yan yung ating moving averages, no? So, any questions so far with moving averages? Ano pa lang we're still at the theory part. All right. So how can I improve yung trading ko sa ano? How can I improve yung trading ko sa moving averages, no? So nakikita ko na, okay sir, now I pretty much understand what you're talking about. No, your moving averages actually provide you pretty good signals, no? However, if you just use them as is, it's not going to work. No? So paano natin ma-i-improve yan, no? One of the things that you can do to improve that is, may several methods on eh. One of the methods is to add an additional moving average, no? Yung additional moving average na yun, it's just used to close your trade, no? Pangsara lang yun. So for example, you have a 50 moving average and then a 200 moving average, no? Yun yung signal mo to enter the market. No? So for example, dito, we have a signal to sell. Okay, we have a signal to sell somewhere over here. And then, a third moving average is introduced. So for example, magpasok tayo ng isa pang moving average, no? So this moving average actually becomes a little bit short of your mas mabilis pa siya, no? It's actually much faster. So sabihin natin kung 50 yung gamit mo, maybe you can use 12, no? Or 20. So let's stick to 20 first para medyo makita muna natin difference. And all right. So if you have your signal to sell already, wait lang, palitan ko yung kulay para mas makita natin. So I'm gonna color it maybe purple, no? Deep pink, yan. Tapos, ninipisan ko na yung line para hindi masyadong, And then, let's just use yan. Okay. So, ang gagamitin mo dyan is that whenever they cross each other, this is your signal to sell. So, dito banda. And nung time na, kapag nag-cross na yung pink line mo, no? Or yung manipis na line mo above your 50 line, doon ka magko-close. So, dito, at this point in time, hindi pa naman sila masyadong hindi pa naman siya nag-cross above eh. Medyo pumantay lang siya and then eventually it went down. Okay? So it went down, pero nung time na i-close na niya, it already closed it here instead of here. So kita nyo, medyo malayo yung difference. We were able to close at a profitable trade. So pareho pa rin entry signal mo, no? You're still using 50 and 200. Pero yung closing mo, mas manipis dapat. could be 12, could be 20. Yung 12 kasi medyo manipis eh. Yung iba kasi yun yung gamit. Madalas parang ano yun eh, divided by 4. So you have like 12, 50, and then 200. But personally, mas suggested ko yung 20 or 25. Mas ano yun, kumbaga it gives you a little bit more breathing room sa trade mo. So if you sell here, the market goes down, you get to close it somewhere around here, no, dito sa may taas. That's a good 200 pip trade already from that movement. No? So you get to exit early in the market. Okay? Tignan natin. Let's look for other examples. No? Okay, dito naman. We have a good buy trade over here. So ang entry natin, point of entry natin would be somewhere here. And then your market crossed dito na banda. Yan, siguro mga dito yan. Whenever they crossed each other, it's probably around here. No? So we probably closed at either break even or a little bit of a profit. No? Yung a little bit of profit could be like around 50 pips. No? Umakyat na siya, went down, break even ka ng siguro mga positive 50 pips lang. No? If you didn't close it, no? Kumbaga hinintay mo yung next candle pa, medyo bumaba na yan, you could have lost around maybe 30 pips na sa mga ganon. But normally, whenever you already reach 1:1 or 2:1 risk-reward ratio, no, normally nilalagay mo na dapat yung stop loss mo sa break-even para hindi ka tatamaan ng negative pa niyan eh. Okay? All right, let's take a look at more examples over here. Okay, let's take a look at bad examples. No? So tingnan natin. You have a good sell point over here. No? So dito banda. Dulong-dulo yan. And then eventually the market goes up, tells you to close somewhere here. So that's a losing trade. Okay. And then from here, wala pa naman, no? So no new trades as of the moment. No? So from there, we had one good trade, no, one bad trade, and then one kind of 50-50 trade. So if you compare that to our previous trading strategy na pure dalawang moving averages lang, no? Na 50 and 200. Yan, bakit 50 and 200 yung ginagamit ko? Kasi yun po yung pinakamadalas na ginagamit. No? Whenever your 50 and 200 cross each other, it's either called the golden cross kapag paakyat and then the death cross pag pababa. No? And those levels are actually pretty reliable kasi if you take a look at the market does react on those levels. Okay? All right, any questions? I have a question here, sir. Okay ba SMA 200? Yeah, you can try that, no? You can substitute that. It's okay. Kung papalitan nyo to into SMA, okay lang din. No? Wala namang, there's nothing wrong with it. You can try it. It's okay. Pretty much, it gives you the same stuff. Saan kayo naglalagay ng ASL if yung ganyan yung method? Okay, that's a great question. No? Kapag nahihirapan po kayong maglagay ng stop loss, normally, it would be beyond the blue line. No? Yung pinakamatagal mong moving average, that would be your stop loss level. Or, kapag, ayan, so for example, no, yung meron tayong sell trade dito. If that's your sell trade, it would be above your blue line. No? So medyo sinusundan mo yan. Lagyan mo lang ng konting breathing room. No? Maybe around 10, 15 pips since you're trend following. Okay? Now, if you don't want that kind of stress, maybe you can also use parabolic SAR as your stop loss. No? We will actually discuss that in one of our webinars. Nasa ano yun eh? Nasa listahan natin yun. Okay. Pwede ka gumamit ng parabolic SAR kung hindi mo malagay. In addition to that, you can also use the recent highs, recent lows. Kunwari, maglagay ka ng zigzag indicator. Lagyan natin para mas ma-visualize nyo. If you put in a zigzag indicator, ayan, makikita mo naman yung recent highs and lows dun sa trade mo. Diyan mo ibase yung ano mo, yung stop loss mo. Okay? Okay, tatanggalin ko na kasi dami na ng linya. Okay, I have a question. 250 and 20, pwede ba i-combine? Yeah, you can combine it. Given na nagtitrend yung market ha. Kasi kapag hindi nagtitrend yung market, you'll have a lot of bad trades, no? At the same time, if you have your fundamental bias with you, talagang malaking tulong yun kasi makikita mo yun yung direksyon ng market eh. No? So, kailangan may laman din yung trade mo. Hindi tayo hula-hula lang na basta nag-cross yung moving average, automatic pasok tayo. No? Kailangan may ano yan. I would highly suggest meron kang fundamental factors behind that. No? We covered that in our previous in a previous webinar. No, I hope you were able to attend that. If not, meron pa rin naman tayo dun sa PAFTI Premium. I was able to upload it recently. Okay? So, dun sa website natin. Okay? Maganda talaga kapag may fundamentals yan. Kapag walang fundamentals, para ka namumula kasi sa market. Okay? So, coach, entry pasok sa cross ng 20 and 50, then exit sa cross ng 20 to maximize profit. Pwede ba yun? Pwede naman. No? You can do that, 20 and 50 instead of 250. Ang problema, ang dami mong signals na makukuha kapag 20 and 50. Medyo malikot yung market kapag ganyan. You have to be ready for that. I have a question here. What about MACD? MACD is a combination of EMA 12 and 26. So it pretty much gives you the same thing. Mas shorter lang yung time frame ng MACD. Pero yung MACD, ano din natin yun? I-discuss din natin yun, no, in one of our webinars na kasama sa listahan natin yun. But in essence, no, MACD is just actually made up of two moving averages. Isang 12 EMA at isang 26 EMA. And then the histogram that you see is the difference between those two EMAs. Whenever your histogram crosses positive or negative, nagko-cross din yung EMA 12 at 26 mo. Yun lang yung MACD actually. So if you dissect it, try mo, gawa ka ng dalawang moving average na 12 at 26 na EMA, tapos buksan mo yung MACD mo, you'd notice na pare-pareho yung signal na binibigay na. That's what it's based on. Alright? So anyway, thanks for that question. No? Okay. So yun ang ating moving average. No? So now, alam nyo na yung strengths and weaknesses ng moving averages. No? And you also have, a couple of techniques on how to counteract its weakness. Alright? So sana mas ma-incorporate nyo. Hopefully that could be helpful in your trading strategy. Okay. So, I have a question. Paano po ba difference pag ibang time frame bukod sa H4? Kindly remember that the higher the time frame, the more reliable the trend will be. So for example, if you are following the trend on H4 or on the D1 charts, matitibay yung mga trend ng mga yon. Normally, it trends for a relatively longer time. No? Kapag kinumpare mo siya sa mga trends that you find on H1 or M15, malalambot po yung mga trends na yon and you have to be ready for very quick reversals in the market. So, hindi ganun ka-reliable yung trend following kapag nasa shorter time frame ka. Kaya sinasuggest ko, higher time frame. No? Anong parameter ng parabolic SAR? Just default is okay. Okay na yung default niyan. Alright. So, I think I was able to answer all the questions. Okay, now let's move on to a less known indicator. No? Yung indicator na to, ang tawag ay ADX. No? So, you can find it here. Insert, indicators, trend, and then dito, average directional movement index. No? So, dalawa yan. Dito tayo kay Wilder. No? Alos pareho lang naman yung nilalabas. No? But let's go with the one with Wilder. No? From here, itatanong sa inyo yung mga certain options. Anong period ang gusto mong gamitin? No? So, same thing. Ang tinitignan nito, no, is the average directional movement for the past 14 periods. No? So, ganun din ang tinitignan, past 14 candles. Now, the difference with ADX and moving average is that your moving average is just bluntly averages the past X number of candles. No? Ang tinitignan ni ADX is tinitignan niya yung directional movement ng candlestick, no? So, let me just draw it to you a little bit, no, para may konting idea kayo. Let's try to go a little deeper dito sa charts natin, no? Okay. So, if you take a look at these charts, ang gagawin ng ADX, no, ano lang to, kumbaga parang summarized version lang to. This is like a rough version on how it's done. Kukunin niya tong candlestick na to, no? You have your first candlestick. Now, the next candlestick, titignan niya from the tip niyan hanggang sa pinakababa nung next candlestick na yan. Yung difference na yan, ang sinasabi nito is that the directional movement is downwards. Kasi from the previous low to the next low, mas mababa. So, this counts as negative directional movement. Yun ang ginagawa niya. Let's have another one. For example, itong candlestick na to. Ito yung recent low niya, no? Ito yung low niya. Yung next candlestick, ito yung pinakamababa. So, ang sinasabi nito, pababa yung directional movement. Yung pataas na directional movement, no? Ito naman yung itsura. Kung makikita nyo, this is the Itong candlestick na to, this candlestick over here, this is the high. And then yung high niya, ng next candlestick, mas mataas ng konti. Kung titignan mo yung low, wala namang halos difference, no? So, ang sinasabi nito is that the directional movement for this one is positive. So, ganun siya magbasa. Paano kapag pareho? For example, ito yung candlestick mo, yung una, tapos yung pangalawa mo, sabihin natin, lagpas parehong sides. Ano titignan niya? Titignan niya kung ano yung mas lamang, no? From the high, let's say, this is around, sabihin natin, 10 pips. From the low, sabihin natin, ang difference nitong dalawang yon ay 12 pips. Ang mangyayari, this counts as negative directional movement. Pababa pa rin siya. Okay? Wala siyang directional movement kung ang itsura, yan yung unang candlestick, tas yung pangalawang candlestick nasa loob lang, walang directional movement yan. Okay? So that's how it basically counts your movement. No? From there, may equations pa yan. Medyo mahabang usapan pa yan. No? But we don't really need it since the indicator does it for you. And from there, no? Ayan, subuksan ulit natin yun. ADX. Okay. So from there, you now have your period, no? 14. Tapos may mga itatanong sa'yo, no? Yung mismong ADX line, anong kulay yung gusto mo? I believe that this is more important. Okay? And then, anong gusto mong, parameters for your line, no? And then you have the positive DI and then the negative DI once you click OK. Medyo kinapalan ko yung yung mismong ADX para madali natin makita. If I click OK, there you go. Yan. So, kung mapapansin nyo ngayon, meron kang tatlong linya and then it's placed on a different window. No? It's placed below your charts. So, what you will see here are generally 3 lines. No? Yung 3 lines na yan, you have your ADX line, which is represented by the black line. I made it a little thicker so that it's easier to see. And then you have your 2 other lines, which is the green one, currently is the positive directional movement, no? And then yung red line is the negative directional movement. Okay? Now, in addition to that, may makikita po kayong levels dito, no? Makikita nyo po na yung pinakamataas is 70, yung pinakababa is 0. And then, meron ka ditong 25 na linya. Yung 25 na linyang yan, importante yan. Okay? Now, if you don't see that line, i-edit nyo na lang yung indicator nyo. You will find here, dito sa levels, no, make sure that 25 is there. And if you click OK, lalabas na yung 25 na yan. No? Alright. So, what am I looking at? No? Ano yung mga linyang yan? Alright. So, the first one, the green one is your positive DI. And then your red one is your negative DI. No? Ang sinasabi niyan is that whenever they cross each other, it's quite similar to your moving averages. It gives you a signal to buy or sell. Okay? So kapag nasa ilalim po yung positive directional movement, ang ibig sabihin nun, pababa yung market, downtrend siya. Kapag nasa taas yung positive directional movement, which is the green line, that tells you uptrend naman yung market. No? So it's a different way of using moving averages as well. No? Mas malikot lang yung linya kaya mahirap siya tignan. Kasi yung moving average natin medyo suabe, no? Medyo smooth siya. It's kind of easy to read. But this one, it's kind of choppy. And that's why a lot of people don't really like to use this very much. No? Yung positive at saka negative DI. But at least you know how to use it now. So kung makikita nyo, there's a couple of signals that it actually gave. Okay. So dito, first signal, this was a signal to buy. This signal was a signal to sell. This signal was a signal to buy. And medyo malayo pa iba. No? Ayan. So kung makikita nyo, yung buy signal natin dito medyo sablay. No? Kasi umakyat yung market pero bumalik lang ulit. Yung sell signal natin was pretty effective. The market did go down. Dito naman, you have a buy signal from there. Medyo malaki naman inakyat ng market. No? And then, nung time na nag-sell signal na siya, it was already here. Okay? So, kung mapapansin nyo, it's not as delayed as your 50 and 200 moving average kasi 14 periods lang naman yung ina-average niya. Okay? So, from this one, this is the entry price. And this one's the closing price. So, okay naman. No? You can also use that if you like. It's just kind of hard to read it kasi medyo malikot sila mag-cross. Okay. Now, more importantly, ang talagang kagandahan ng mismong ADX is the black line. No? Yung ADX line na yan, it tells you if the market is trending or if it's not trending. Hindi niya sinasabi yung direction. The green and the red lines tell you the direction of the market. But the ADX line mismo, yung black line na yan, it just tells you if the market is trending or if it's not. If that level, no, if that line is above your 25 level, so dito papasok yung 25 natin na nakasulat diyan, no? If it's above your 25, that means the market is currently trending. If the market is below that line, it tells you walang trend ngayon. So if you're using your moving averages, why don't you check out your ADX as well? Just to filter out a couple of bad trends in the market. Para sigurado ka talagang may trend. No? Well, hindi naman sigurado, but having more confluence to your trade. So in this case, this tells you that this area right here, no, nagte-trend yung market. So if you see a couple of opportunities to trade with that, okay lang. So yan, tuloy-tuloy yung trend niya for a while. No? Kita nyo? Nag-downtrend nga naman yung market, tapos nag-uptrend siya. So it's still trending. Not telling you the direction of the market, but generally, it's telling you that it's trending. No? And then from there, no, medyo nag-chop ng konti yung market. May mga times na nagte-trend siya, may mga times naman na hindi. No? Ayan. So over here, makikita nyo, so the current market right now for the H4 chart, it's currently below 25. So ang sinasabi sa iyo nito, wala masyadong trend ngayon. So wag nating aasahan na tutuloy yung trend. Okay? All right. Let me just check the chat box kung may mga tanong. Okay, I just have one question here. Iba rin ba itsura ng MA sa lower time frames kesa sa higher? Well, pareho yung pag-compute nila. Pero naturally, you'll have different trends on higher time frames and lower time frames at the same time. Pag tinignan mo sa D1 chart, pwedeng uptrend yan. Pag baba mo sa H4 chart, pwede siyang maging ranging. Pag tingin mo sa H1 chart, downtrend. So it could have different trends on different time frames. Okay? So malinaw yan, no? Malinaw yung ADX natin. May questions ba with ADX? All right. So now let's try to identify a couple of charts, no, just to have some examples, no. Medyo dumikit lang. Any particular chart you guys want to check out? Let's check the past market and then the current market para medyo may konting analysis tayo. Okay? Maybe we can have like 2 or 3 pairs. Oh, maraming ginto. Okay, gold. Sige. Okay. Talagang gusto nyo pa rin trade yung gold, eh, no? Medyo mahirap i-trade yung gold ngayon, eh. Okay. So as you can see over here, no, dito po, the market confirms a relatively slow uptrend dyan. Kita mo? Meron kang buy signal dito from your moving averages. However, no, ayan, sige. So kahit pa paano, nagtitrend naman daw. No, it's above 25. So sige, pasok tayo dyan. No? You have a little bit of an entry there. Could have hit your stop losses. No? Bumaba kasi ng konti yung market. And then the market went up from there. So depende kung gaano kalayo yung stop loss mo. Okay? From there, no, the market went up. Sa gold, tuloy-tuloy pa rin siyang uptrend. And so far, yung ating 20 na line, it still hasn't crossed below your 50 na moving average. So medyo from this point of view, pataas pa rin siya, no? If you're still buying, no, I suggest you close it kapag nag-cross na yung itong 20 at saka itong 50. Okay? So far, the market is again trending kasi umakyat ng konti above 25. No, not very strong, but a little bit above 25. So technically trending siya ngayon, okay, for gold. Now, if you look at the daily chart, tingnan natin. Now, let's take a look at it on multiple time frames. Sa daily chart, medyo magulo yan, no, kasi wala tayong masyadong signal to buy or sell. Kung titingnan natin yung moving average, it happened way long ago. Ano pa, 2000... Yun, dito ba? Layo. 2019, I think, no? 2018 o 2019 January, no? So it's been trending upwards for a very long time, no? Wala pang sarahan 'yan. Okay? Pero malamang kung tinamaan na yung stop loss nyo a couple of times or nag-cross na rin tong maliit na red line, no? But so far wala pang indication of a downtrend based on 50 and 200. Okay, check natin GJ, no? USD JPY din, no? So try muna natin USD JPY. Medyo mabilis lang naman i-analyze yung trend based on this one. Okay, so over here, if you take a look at your charts, very flat market. Kung makikita nyo din yung moving averages nyo, kita nyo very flat. So it's not moving at an angle. Normally, when that happens, the market is ranging. Your ADX is definitely below 25, so there's no movement on the daily chart for the trend. For the H4 chart, as you can see, below 25 din, no? Even though meron tayong sell signal here before. So actually, okay yung sell signal natin dito. That's a valid sell signal. It's above 25. Dito yung entry natin. The market is still trading in the same area. No? So wala pa. As you can see, it's been ranging for a very long time. No? By the way, if it's ranging for a very long time, most of the time, merong breakout yan pag ganyan na siya nagre-range ng matagal. Alright. So wala pa tayong matitrade with H4. Sa H1, pretty much the same. As you can see, your ADX was trading definitely below 25. So wala. No ano dyan. No entries dyan. For GJ, let's check a different chart. No? GBP against JPY. D1 muna tayo. Sa D1 charts, it's trading below 25. No trend whatsoever. We had the sell signal over here. Saan na yun? Dito banda entry natin. The market did go down a little bit, no? Not a little bit, to be honest. That's like 600 pips, no? But the market now has retraced up 270 pips. Okay? So malamang medyo losing tayo dyan kung sa GJ. Yan. Kung mapapansin nyo, yung movement nila are very similar, no, with UJ. It's also pretty much ranging as of the moment. No? So meron din tayong wala masyadong signal for H4. For H1, tingnan natin 25, no, the line is below 25. Wala pagilid din. So nothing with the JPY pairs as of the moment. AUD USD and then oil. So let's try those last two. Sa D1 muna, no? D1 AUD USD, the trend has just finished. Okay? Kakatapos lang ng trending market. Medyo malayo, matagal siya nag-trend eh. Ayan, no? 2018 pa lang, no? This was pretty much a dollar-based movement eh. Kaya naman, kung mapapansin nyo lahat ng mga major pairs, pare-pareho yung galaw. No? So from here, no, currently below 25 ngayon. So wala masyadong trend yung market, and that's quite evident on the D1 chart. Sa H4, same, no, below 25. Kakabigay niya lang ng buy signal recently. So andito yung ating buy signal. If we bought here, the market went down a little bit, no, pero umangat ulit. So you should be like negative 40 pips right now. So wala pang trend eh. Next one is the H1 charts. On the H1 charts, a little bit, no, you have medyo matagal na yung buy signal natin, no, couple of days ago, start of April pa lang. And probably would have closed it somewhere around here. No, kita niyo yung cross ng dalawang moving average. Okay? At that time, nung nag-buy signal siya, it was definitely above your 25. So that would have been a very valid trade for everyone. So ito yung buy signal mo. It's above 25. The market was trending. Tuloy-tuloy pa akyat, no? So just ride with it until mag-cross yung 20 at saka 25 at this moment. So that was pretty good. Alright. So yun po ang ating oil, no? Last oil. Sige, meron ba akong oil? Okay, I still have my June contract na oil. Okay, oil right now, as you can see, is pretty much the same as your other pairs. So kamukha siya ng JPY kung mapapansin nyo. Plummeted down a little bit, and right now it's ranging, no? It's definitely below 25, no? Way below 25. Ang tight ng consolidation niya sa H1. Sa H4, it's trending, no? Sa H4. And the sell signal was given way long ago. So wala tayong point of entry for now. And then sa D1, definitely ganun din. And based on your D1 charts, no, the sell signal was given dito pa. Tagal na. And as of now, it's still trending. No? So, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung sell. Kasi it's still above 25. Your 20 still hasn't crossed above your 50. So, wala pa masyado. So, should we buy this? Definitely not. Wag muna. I mean, just like what we've, been analyzing for the past few weeks, no? Wag muna bumili ng oil. All right. So, I guess that's pretty much it, no? I hope that these two indicators, no, can help you a little bit more with your trading. Now you have better mastery over your moving average, and as well as your ADX, no? Meron na kayo ngayon tool na magsasabi kung trending ba or hindi trending yung market. All right. So, are there any questions before we end? Okay, I just have some questions here. Paano po kayo nag-chart habang nagtitrade? Kailangan po bang mabilis? Baka useless mag-set ng trades kung maunahan ng movement yung market. Di naman, no? You don't need to be very, very quick. If you're trading on the H4 charts or the D1 charts, you don't need to be very quick with that, no? Kasi it takes like 1 whole day to form a candle or 4 hours to form a whole candle. So, you don't need to be too quick. Unless you're trading like the M5 charts, M15 charts, yun, medyo mabilis yun. All right.